Amendment A. MEN stroke, Senator from Georgia, SN above the line JOJA. Wise, long I with a left S, provision, P, blend in the V, re-election, RELSH, President of the United States, PRESEU, at the earliest possible moment, TESPMEN stroke, second, SEK, recall, REK, to make, TEM stroke, A, undoubtedly, NDAUTE, as far as I can, SFSK. Realize that, RELASTHA. History, dot for the H, ESTE. Generally, JNE, to give him, TUGEM, at the same time, TSATEM stroke, it might be, TEM stroke, ATB, many of those, MEN stroke, ETHS, politics, POLAS, service, left S above the line, Republican, RP, Democrat, TEM stroke, R, occupying, OK, dot for the ING, members of Congress, MEN stroke, SKG, throne, THON, recognize, RKNAS. In my judgment, MEN stroke, A, and strike through with the J, implies, MPLAS. House of Congress, dot for the H, USKG, viewpoint, VOE, supposed to represent, SPOTRP, pretty, PRE, altered, OT reverse ED, analyzed, ANALASD, in any event, NJOG-NEV, presidents, PRESS, want to speak, O and T stroke SP, I cannot agree, AKN, large loop, make any difference, MANEDF blend, to renominate, TRENOMEN stroke AT, as I recall it, ASREKT, 2 years, TRS.
Mr. President, I have no desire to delay the Senate, but I do want to speak briefly on the amendment offered by the senator from Georgia. Personally, I feel very strongly that the amendment is a wise one and should receive the approval of Congress at the earliest possible moment so that it can be considered, as all constitutional amendments must be considered, by the legislatures of the various states of the Union. I cannot agree with the viewpoint expressed by the other senators that this proposal has not been before the public for a long time. I cannot recall any prospective amendment to the Constitution that has received more general discussion and consideration than the suggestion that the term of president be extended possibly to 6 years and that there be a constitutional disqualification to succeed himself. In fact, this proposed amendment to the Constitution has received much consideration, much discussion, and much comment in the public press. I speak from some experience, having been governor of the state of New Jersey, where under the Constitution of the state, the governor is prohibited from succeeding himself, as is the case, I know, in various other states. I think it is a most wise provision. It does not make any difference whether it is the President of the United States or the governor of a state. We are all human. When a man is elected to the office of president, where the Constitution permits re-election, he must of necessity have it constantly in his mind. I believe any President of the United States necessarily and naturally will do his very best to make a commendable record and serve the country as well as he is able to serve it. But back of all that undoubtedly is the human thought that in making that record he hopes that his fellow countrymen will approve of it sufficiently to renominate him and re-elect him for a second term. Whether he wants the second term or not, and as far as I can recall, history does not record those who were not willing to have a second term. He wants to have it generally admitted, as far as that is possible, that the country has approved his record and is ready to give him another term. That ambition will influence, if not control, some of his policies. Earlier in the discussion today, one of the senators, I think the senator from Virginia, made the statement, as I recall it, that a president elected for a single term, realizing that under the Constitution he could not succeed himself, would not respond to public opinion as readily as would a president serving his first term with the hope or expectation of possibly having a second. While a president of the United States should undoubtedly try to respond to digested public opinion, at the same time, I am under the impression that it might be beneficial to the country if the president, realizing that he could have only one term, should be just a little more firm and not always respond to the clamor of the moment and the thought of the day. Many of those thoughts and much of that clamor not carefully conceived, or at least not carefully considered. I frankly believe that with the term of office of the president definitely fixed, notwithstanding the exigencies or demand of politics, we will get better service out of the president. I do not care whether he is a Republican or a Democrat. Although I generally follow the logic of the senator from New York, now occupying the chair, I could not entirely follow him today in his expressed fear that the present terms of members of Congress would be thrown somewhat out of gear because of the extension of the presidential term. The responsibilities and functions of the different branches of the government, which most of us recognize, and which, in my judgment, we should all recognize, are entirely different. The executive is the executive, as the title implies. The Congress is, of course, the legislative body, or should be. The lower house of Congress is supposed to represent the viewpoint of the particular period when it is elected. And under the Constitution, we elect the entire House with the idea that the country shall express their viewpoints. I do not think that privilege should be denied for a longer period than 2 years. I think the term of the members of the lower house of Congress should always remain 2 years. 2 years is ample time to have changes in the country pretty clearly defined and analyzed and digested, and if they can be represented by an election of a new house, it should have its effect on the Senate naturally and properly. Senators being elected under the Constitution for 6 years, I cannot see how the situation would be altered if the president had a term of 6 years. In any event, only 1/3, a minority of the Senate, is sure to serve beyond the present presidential term of 4 years. Therefore, at present, there never would be a majority of the Senate remaining in office beyond the president's term unless they were re-elected to the Senate during the term of the president.
Thank you for watching. Hit the like button if you'd like, and subscribe to my channel.